time, otherwise we will not even have time for the experts to ask questions. But we really appreciate the enthusiasm that women have for this process. We appreciate it. Just be brief, because we have the documents with us. The experts are taking everything. Just be quick so that we keep time.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chair, and your team, and the women of Kenya represented in here. I'm focusing on national ethos, yani maadili ya kitaifa. And we would really want to appreciate what the BBI team has done to consider and to focus on national ethos, because any institution that is standing, even when you look at the religion, it is held by the pillars. And these national ethos are going to be the pillars of this country. We appreciate that the BBI has focused on culture and the need to promote cultures, and to use cultures to promote the ethos is very important. Through rites of passage and even through the school system, we really appreciate that, and we hope that the ethos will be perpetuated and propagated through different institutions so that everybody is aware of them. The interdependence between women and youth and children has not been overlooked, and really appreciate that. And the Ministry of Culture that has been proposed, we hope that this is going to take off and is going to make sure that this interdependence is not lost. The marginalized group, the youth, the children, and the women. We also look forward to promoting positive culture and also the cultural gaps that have been overlooked before. For instance, the meaning of elders, it has been so patriarchal. We are hoping that the consideration of women as elders in our communities, in our society, will be highlighted henceforth. And we also look forward to the documentation as proposed by the BBI of our historical and mega history experiences in Kenya. However, there has been a gap which we hope can be filled, and this is one of our recommendations, that we really document what the women of Kenya have done, pre-colonial, colonial, and the rest. Most of us hear about Mekatiriri, we hear about Wango wa Makeri from myths that are destroying the leadership of women. But we are hoping that from this henceforth, we hope we can register these her stories and not just focus on the his story. Thank you so much. And we hope that the establishment of the Ethics Commission is going to help us track down all these issues and make sure that they are done. The legislative policy and administrative action as recommended there, we hope that this can be used to make sure that all these proposals are put into place. Ours is to commend you and also to add onto your proposals. Let us go ahead. We'll work together with you as women and support in every action that you propose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have been commended so many times, so the rest just go into the issue. We have taken the commendation so that we focus on the issue.
Yeah. My name is Joyce. I'm going to chair, vice chair, dignified members, women of Kenya. I'm going to emphasize on two things that BBI has said that women really concur with. One is women support and embrace very much the issue that you have discussed, identified, that there is more emphasis on rights than on responsibilities. That is a fact in Kenya. There's more emphasis on rights than responsibilities, even though certain rights of women are just on paper and not actually actualized. So the emphasis on rights is going to continue for them to be implemented, but we do accept that BBI identified correctly that responsibilities and rights go together. The other thing that I'm going to say with regard to what the BBI said is that what the BBI calls skin in the game, which Patricia already talked about. If you're heading an institution, you cannot escape from its services. You have to go to those services. I think that's really something very, very, very important. It will help enhance services. It will help enhance trust. It will help, to ensure that services are good. Having said that, we had a couple of recommendations to make with regards to responsibilities and rights fund. We call upon the duty bearers, both in national government and the county governments, to undertake policy and administrative decisions to ensure the return to the rule of law. Yes, we are getting further and further away from the rule of law, both at county level and at the national level, and we call upon the return to the rule of law. The women of Kenya also, we take our responsibility seriously, and we continue to mobilize. We mobilize for civic education. We mobilize to teach women about their rights and responsibilities. We mobilize to teach youth. We mobilize even with regard to building bridges, to tell them what building bridges is all about. We hope that this in turn will help the young people, will help the women to undertake their responsibility to hold the various government, both national and county, responsible for various standards, for various actions. So the reason why we do our responsibility of training, of creating awareness, is so that citizens are able to hold the governments and service providers accountable. Three, Chairperson, is that women of Kenya, we call upon National Assembly to pass the Food and Nutrition Act, which has been pending in Parliament. This will ensure that people are food secure. We have seen what is going around when people can't afford food, they subject themselves to be beaten so that they can put food on the table. People should be food secure, and I think the first thing that the Parliament should do, and the women recommend this, is to pass the Food Security Bill. We recommend that the government should develop appropriate policies and strategies and plans and implementation programs which are geared towards enhancing and guaranteeing food and nutrition security for all. Because it all starts from the stomach. The one thing we all did before we came here is to have something in our stomachs. So I think we cannot be overemphasized that food security is very important. Finally, Chairperson, Vice Chairperson, we recommend the review and enforcement of policies, legislations, regulations that require that private actors honor their contractual obligations, prevent corruption, and as employers ensure that employees enjoy their employment rights. I thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go on to the issues of chair of the, let me start with the salutations. Chair of the steering committee, members of the team. I'm going to be talking on ethnic antagonism and competition, and I'm going to go straight to the point because, as you say, you've been acknowledged enough. And the women of Kenya, of course, regret that our ethnic diversity has been a source of conflicts and a basis for a practice of the vice of discrimination at different levels. And so the women of Kenya recommend the full implementation of the principle of inclusion by the national and county governments in the appointments of truly create the face of Kenya in all its public institutions. And women of Kenya doubt the viability, however, in the report, the women of Kenya doubt the viability and practicability of the BBI's proposal of achieving more integration through creation of a political federation that can result into elimination of ethnic antagonism. We are very wary about the viability and practicability of that proposal. And of course, the women of Kenya support the BBI report on the issues of formulating a gender-responsive policy and laws as part of the strategies of having free, fair, transparent, and accountable elections. This also goes hand in hand with my other speakers who are going to be talking about gender-based violence on issues of elections, divisive elections, and ethnicity. And of course, finally, whenever there are divisive elections leading to conflicts, women are more affected negatively compared to men, owing to their unique vulnerabilities, and given that they happen to be the cares of and attending to the aged and the children. And so anytime there's ethnic and divisive elections, the women are the most affected. That's it.
Thank you so much. Okay. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, and all protocol observed, thank you so much. And for me, I just want to take people back in those days of independence, whereby negative ethnicity played a key role of dividing Kenya. The only time Kenyans were together is during independence, and also we want to request if BBI will bring all Kenyans together, and even in the membership, if BBI will put the face of all Kenyans in the team that leads BBI in Kenya. And also, like our leaders who are in Kenya and the political race, how it has affected the people at the grassroots. Most of the time, the leaders in political seats ensure that we are divided in our ethnicity. So we want to request these documents in accordance of the law to ensure that Kenyans are united, and BBI should also unite Kenyans and ensure that we have development at the grassroots. And every woman should be represented from grassroots, women with disability and young women. And because I'm seeing opportunity on this table, I show my interest to sit with you as a BBI member. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Women from like 7 counties presenting their views to the Building Bridges Initiative team, task force rather, led by Yusuf Haji, the senator, right? They're receiving their views. They're talking about food securities, matters of inclusion when it comes to employment at the county and national government. But still talking about matters BBI, the BBI campaigns have resumed, and remember, the Meru rally initially planned for 15th has been postponed to 29th. Let us speak to our reporter, George Maringa, who is in Meru. George Maringa, good morning. The last time we spoke before the barrel of President Moi, it was about all systems go for BBI in Meru County. We're seeing a postponement. Kindly talk to us about it.
Good morning to Brenda and our viewers. Now, right, we were expecting a flurry of activities just about to work this week, and especially the D-Day was the 15th, that is on Saturday, the 15th of February, this month, that's just about 3 days away. And that happened because the Meru BBI was supposed to happen on the 15th of February. However, that has been postponed